Hello, and welcome. Welcome on into the Swear Word. I'm your host, Brandon Swear, and this is a podcast for the chili community, by the chili community. Regardless of your spice tolerance, this is the place for you. Man, we have an amazing episode here tonight. We have 3 sauces on deck for Hot or Not, as well as an amazing guest, locked and loaded, and a very fun game scheduled. Let's go ahead and start episode number 65. Hello, Swear Nation. So glad to have everyone here, rocking and rolling. Thanks for being active in the chat, whether you're tuning in on YouTube, Spotify, Rumble, or Apple Podcasts. Thank you so much for being here. And once again, if this is your first time checking out the show, glad to have you here. We're continuing to grow, so share this out with other like-minded chili heads, and let's get this one going. We have 3 sauces on deck tonight from Hardcore Hot Sauce that we'll be diving into, that I cannot wait to get into on Hot or Not, as well as we have Loren from Hardcore Hot Sauce as our guest tonight, and we'll be bringing in the game of the 5 as we round out this episode. Man, this is going to be a fun time. Have fun in the chat. Fire off in the 5. If you think that you would have answered something differently, let us know. But let's go ahead and start Hot or Not. All right. Hey, welcome on into Hot or Not. We have 3 amazing sauces here tonight that are all 3 from Hardcore Hot Sauce. We have New World Samurai, Brain Invasion, and we have Ghost of Guajillo. So looking forward to jumping into these. Let's go ahead and get a close-up of what this looks like right now. So as you can see here, great labeling. Love what's going on here. It's got that very adult cartoon-esque pop going on to the overall labeling. All the way around, it has that same vibe, that same feel. Phenomenal color pop on both the labeling and the sauce. So as a whole, very well done, executed perfectly. Let's do this. We will start out with, let's go with the New World Samurai first. So if this is your first time checking out the show, I do things a bit different here. I do not like to read the ingredients or see what's going on in the sauce until after I have had the chance to let my taste buds do their thing. The other thing is I don't do a 1 out of 10 scale. I do a 1 out of 5, and that's based off of 5 different categories. Those categories are heat, aroma, flavor, versatility, and burn. And after that, I take all those scores up, add them up, and average them out, and that gives us our total swear word rating. So let's go ahead and jump on into New World Samurai. This is from Hardcore Hot Sauce. If you're keeping track, this does have a nice perforation, but I always like a good excuse to use the knife, so we will get that one going here and label off. All right, so nice overall, I would say this is a pretty high viscosity sauce. I mean, it's got a nice flow to it. So definitely interested in checking this one out. It's color-wise, let's talk about that. Color-wise, it's probably a nice orangish tint to it. Orange and brown kind of hue to the overall sauce. Does have a flow restrictor for those that are keeping track. So for sake of the pour, we're going to go ahead and pop that off. Wow, right off the bat, aroma is phenomenal. Very, very kind of like a smoky note, almost like a toasted smoky note. Also has a nice savory note that you're picking up as you're getting this smell. Obviously, a very Asian style hot sauce, a very Asian style aroma that's coming through here, but not really picking up much as far as what I would typically expect for an Asian style hot sauce, which would be a lot of overall ginger and onion type of aroma, but very interested there. Nice body on this sauce. Wow. Let's talk about this one. That is flavorful to the max. right off the bat. A very nice, so that very soft taste comes in right off the bat of this nice toasted, almost like a toasted sesame oil right off the bat. And then it goes into the nice vinegar notes, kind of tasting like a rice wine vinegar, if you will, really lending itself there to an umami taste that's really driving forward. A little subtle note of garlic is there noticeable, as well as a slight onion. Man, I'm just like all over the place with my words. There we go. A slight onion note as well. Loving this overall flavor and body to this sauce. Absolutely amazing. And one for sure that I would be able to really use on any kind of Asian style dish with ease. I mean, it's got a very nice flavor pop to it all. Also, the initial heat on this isn't that high. That initial heat really is kind of on the lower end of what you would expect, because as you're getting it, you're getting a lot of flavor, you're getting a lot of body on this sauce. Super flavor bomb right there. It's really on the backside of this, on the burn aspect, that the heat starts to build. So that initial pop, just barely gracing the mouth. Nothing too crazy as far as an overall sting or burn or anything of that nature. And then as that 30-second plus marker starts to hit, it starts to really end up sinking towards the back of the mouth and the back of the throat. And it just sits there and it starts to smolder and it starts to pick up speed and really start to add to that burn. So overall versatility on this sauce, let's talk about that. Obviously not one I'm going to be using towards a dessert, but man, absolutely going to be amazing on any type of Asian dish, any kind of rice dish, noodle dish, soup, sushi, etc. This thing is going to be an absolute game changer to that. Definitely looking forward to trying this on some sushi and some rice dishes for me personally. And then an Asian style taco, that's going to be absolutely amazing. For hardcore hot sauce, this is New World Samurai. Let's take a look at the ingredients. Ingredients are vegan soy-free ponzu sauce, habanero, bell peppers, salt, lime, onion, garlic, cane sugar, water, and distilled vinegar. Absolutely phenomenal sauce. Very nice, interesting twist as well, having that vegan soy-free ponzu sauce in there. Nice to be able to find a fish-free alternative to a ponzu sauce, and very well executed. Tons of flavor still left in here, and nothing missing as far as that is concerned. And a nice pop from those habaneros. Actually kind of shocked that is just only habaneros in there. Very well done. So for New World Samurai, we have the heat coming in at 2.9, aroma of 3.87, flavor of 4.4, a versatility of 4, and an overall burn of 3.65 for a total swear word rating of 3.76. Man, that is an absolutely amazing sauce. I'll have the direct links for it down below. Let's go ahead and jump on over to the next sauce. All right, so let's grab Ghost de Guajillo. All right, give it a good shake. Love the overall color on this. It's got that bright, dark red, or deep red, I should say. That bright, deep red is very, that traditional color that you're looking for in a hot sauce. Looks like a nice medium to high viscosity sauce. Looks like as well, for all those that are keeping track, it does have a perforation. Once again, just wanted to break out the knife and use it, but give it a nice glance. Oh yeah, that's some great flow. Once again, flow restrictor. Let's just get that off for the sake of the pour. And for all those that are keeping track, just know that there is a flow restrictor. No harm, no foul. Some people like them, some people hate them. I just like to get a clean pour for the review purposes, but we will go ahead and jump on into this one and get a good pour going. All right. Yeah. Once it gets going, it gets going. Look at that big old spoonful. All right. So right off the bat, the smell is very fruity, very welcoming, and a little bit of, just kind of like a little fruit, a little bit of vinegar, and picking up a few key notes of the peppers, but nothing too crazy as far as just being a very pepper forward or very fruit forward smell. Very nice. Like what's going on here. Man, that is amazing. Absolutely amazing. All right, so let's talk about the overall flavor. The flavor on this has a great fruity note that ends up carrying through. And really from there, you're getting this amazing, very bright, very crisp citrus, but also a little bit of a twang to it. There's some depth to this overall sauce that is just absolutely phenomenal. Can't really put my finger on it, but it has a very reminiscent taste, and definitely interested to see what the overall ingredients are on this. Like I said, it has that nice vinegar, but also a little bit of a citrusy cut, as well as it does have a nice little bit of a salty balance to it. Like I said, all in all, if I had to pinpoint it as well, gives me that overall a nice table sauce, one that would be friendly for everyone. So if you're just starting out, you're going to be able to utilize this sauce and enjoy it and not have to worry about really burning yourself down. If you are constantly pushing yourself, you're trying to build your tolerance, you're trying to continue to grow and push yourself, man, this is definitely going to be one that you'll be able to seriously enjoy because it is packed with flavors. It is just, though, going to be on that mild to medium range, depending on where your tolerance is. So all in all, absolutely amazing, and one that is going to be, just great to have sitting around on the table, ready to go, rocking out whenever you need it. But let's do this. Let's go ahead and we'll read off some ingredients here real quick. All right, so Ghost of Guajillo, chili guajillo, red pepper flakes, onion, garlic, Brash Brewing, Ghost beer, salt, lime juice, water, and distilled vinegar. Very limited ingredients that are actually in this sauce. Very well executed, tons of body, and tons of depth to the overall taste on this. So let's go ahead and read off the overall score on this one. So heat coming in at 2.8, aroma at 3.84, flavor of 4.12, versatility of a 4, burn of 2.99, for a total swear word rating of 3.55. There we go. Another amazing sauce. Definitely one that you should check out. Full of flavor, full of fun. And I'll have the direct links for it down below. So here we have our last sauce here on Hot or Not, Brain Invasion. Looking forward to jumping into this one. As y'all know, the brain strain pepper is one of my favorites. So with a name like Brain Invasion, this should be fun. So once again, I love the labeling. This one is rocking a much more darker overall color scheme to this sauce label. It's got that deep purples and the pinks, and then it's got, this bright blue contrast. Everything's just very eye appealing and visually appealing. This also has a perforation on the cellophane labeling here. So let's go ahead and get that opened and pull that the rest of the way. Like the overall different color schemes to the labelings for the cellophane. The cellophane also complements the overall labeling that is on the sauce bottle. So give this one a good shake. Nice, dark, kind of like a brownish, almost purplish hue to the sauce itself. So very cool to see. And let's go ahead and jump on into this one here. Once again, flow restrictor. Let me get that out of the way for sake of the pour. And we shall get this one poured up. Oh, wow. Right off the bat, man, it has this great fruity smell, but at the same time, you're picking up some nice pepper notes to this sauce, a touch of vinegar, and then smells like some citrus or something a little bit on the salty side as well. Just that not the way it's hitting the nostrils, it's kind of giving that same overall body. So let's see what this is all about. This is Brain Invasion from Hardcore Hot Sauce. Nice pour there, but here we go. Cheers. Man, absolutely amazing. This one right here, you're definitely going to notice a very distinct difference in the overall heat between this sauce and the last two. Great flavor profile on this. It definitely has a nice fruity note undertone to this body, but it's not sweet fruity. It just has that great body of the flavor profiles coming through. All right, so let's talk through the overall heat on this sauce. Definitely one that if you're just starting out, this is not going to be the sauce for you. Even in moderation, it might be a bit much. But if you are actively pursuing you're building your tolerance, you're working on elevating yourself to build up that tolerance more and more, definitely one you can enjoy, push yourself, and really, just using it in moderation is going to be key if you're already starting to build your tolerance. If you are already, actively pushing yourself, you're always trying to strive to get that tolerance up, man, this is going to be a high heat sauce for you all day long. Aroma, absolutely amazing. We talked about that just briefly before. Once again, the overall taste, the flavor to this sauce, absolutely phenomenal. Does not get washed out through the whole entire sauce. The burn, it ends up building and continues to grow. It's parked mostly in the back of the throat, and it just continues to go. You might feel a little bit in the chest, but not too much. It's mostly just in the throat on this sauce, but hands down, a killer sauce to check out, and could not recommend this one more. I did have the pleasure of trying this at North Texas Hot Sauce Fest in a very small quantity, and was blown away by it then. Now a tablespoon, and it is singing. It is a home run in my books, but let's go ahead and check out the ingredients. Ingredients on Brain Invasion from Hardcore Hot Sauce: brain strain peppers, garlic, blueberries. That's definitely the fruit note that I was picking up. It has that great body, not that overly sweet taste. Blueberries were a perfect choice for this sauce. We have lime juice, salt, and vinegar. I mean, that's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 total ingredients in this sauce. Hands down, this has got to be my favorite sauce from Hardcore Hot Sauce, Brain Invasion. This definitely has taken my favorite blueberry sauce, definitely arguably one of my favorite, if not my favorite, fruit sauce right here. Using blueberry is Brain Invasion from Hardcore Hot Sauce. But let's go ahead and get these scores read off here. Brain Invasion from Hardcore Hot Sauce. We have heat coming in at 3.89, aroma at 3.65, flavor at 4.24, versatility of 4.15, and burn of 4.2 for a total swear word rating of 4.03. Man, that is an absolutely amazing sauce. Once again, that is Brain Invasion from Hardcore Hot Sauce. I'll have the direct links for it down below, as well as the other sauces covered here tonight on Hot or Not. Let's go ahead and jump on over to the interview. Hey, Loren, how's it going?
Hey man, how's it going, man?
Man, it is going good. So glad to have you here. We had the pleasure of meeting each other at North Texas Hot Sauce Fest, and I was blown away by your sauces, the overall story, your drive, and your passion. And I'm glad to have you here and honored to have you here on the show.
Yeah, man, definitely. It was a pleasure meeting you over there. You ran the gauntlet, which was fun.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, man, it was a pleasure to meet you, and thanks for hitting me up.
Yeah, definitely. Well, one thing I always like to lead off with is really gaining an understanding of what got you into the world of hot, and then really what catapulted you to the moment of, hey, I'm going to make a sauce?
Okay, so it kind of starts back whenever I was a kid. I grew up in a household where we ate hot sauce all the time. My dad would come home from work, break out Tabasco, put it on cheese, chips, anything and everything. So I started kind of doing what dad wanted to do, right? So I kind of started, dabbling with some of the hot sauce. Of course, I was like 4, so it was too hot. Why not? And then my mom asked me if I wanted to help her make table salsa, so chile, right? And the old molcajete sitting there grinding it out and burning everybody's eyes because she's burning these peppers on the stove top. So I learned how to make chile with her, and then around junior high, they were doing a bake sale, and they were like, they wanted everybody in home ec to, put in on it, and you sell and you get to keep the money, right? So I was like, well, I know how to do chile. I can't cook anything else, but I can do this. So I made these, a green sauce and a red sauce, and it sold out in 15 minutes. People just walked in, boom, 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 everybody bought it. And I was like, man, I brought 30 bottles of each. Like, what are we doing? So, then fast forward to 2 years later, COVID hit, and I was just, dabbling in the garden and whatnot, growing a few peppers. And I ended up having a plant that was super productive, and I didn't know what to do with all the peppers. I had like a 5 pound bag of just these super hot Thai chilies in the fridge, and I couldn't eat them all. My dad couldn't eat them all. I was just giving them to family members, like, hey man, you want a bag of peppers? Passing them out, and nobody could eat them all. I was still producing as much as we were eating.
Mm-hmm.
So I Googled how to make hot sauce and started kind of dabbling, and then took some to work. And when I took it to work, my director of IT tested it, and he goes, "Man, this is wimpy sauce. You should bring something hot."
Mm-hmm.
So me going, "Oh, okay, I'm not gonna let someone do that to me." I was like, "I can make some really, really hot stuff for you." So he's like, "Okay, if you bring something that makes me cry, you can get the day off." So I went out to the store and bought ghost peppers, Carolina Reapers. I bought extra hot Thai chilies, green Thai chilies, ghost, all kinds of really hot stuff. Literally just with no flavoring, no nothing like that. Just vinegar, salt, and peppers. Blended it into a bottle, made 2 bottles, and I was taste testing it all week to make sure that I didn't cry with it. Even though the first time I did do it, I literally turned purple. So then I took it to work, and he's like, I'm gonna take a spoonful, and he got a spoonful of it and took it, and he was silent for about 30 minutes. And he just sat there like rethinking his life decisions. And then a tear came down. He goes, "We all got the day off. I gotta go home." And then he goes, "This stuff's hardcore, man." That's where the name was born, and that's where I was like, "Oh, maybe I do have something with this." And then, went from there.
Very nice. The story behind the name is phenomenal. It's a very epic one to hear because it's a story that most of us chili heads know far too well, which is the
Hmm.
idea of, somebody is just merely passing by. Sure, maybe they dabble in it, but they've never really explored how deep for lack of a better term, that rabbit hole goes. And they're
Hmm.
just they think that they've had the hottest thing out there, and next thing you know, they find something to humble them. So
Oh yeah.
very very cool, and I mean, I'm sure everyone was absolutely thrilled to have the day off from that. Um,
Yeah.
Now, so you
Yeah, they
made two
were.
bottles. Did you end up keeping one for yourself and then bringing him one? What was that like?
Yeah, I kept one for myself and me and my sister, who's a fellow psychopath like myself. And so we split it, and we just kept eating it, kept eating it, kept eating it. And, feeling the pain, and we're just like in that super like endorphin hitting stage of the heat's there, nothing you can do about it. So we just like the rush of it. And then he actually kept it in the fridge in the IT department, and it's actually still there. And I'm like, dude, that's not good anymore. That was like 4 years ago. So he just keeps it in there. He's like, well, I've never taken it out. I was like, okay, man, well, don't give me any of that.
Yep. The legendary bottle that
Yeah,
forever just sits there. So that's
dude, it was
awesome.
like the dankiest purple color. It was so crazy looking.
As far as your heat preferred level, if you will, for daily consumption, where do you really like to fluctuate around for your own personal use?
So I'm an oddball. I like super hot, but I don't like anything that's just hot for the sake of being hot. Like, it's like me and Cole and everybody we always talk about. We're like, anyone can make super hot vinegar water, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, but getting the flavor to go with your heat, that's where we're all at. You know, sometimes I'll even take flavor over heat, depending on what it is. But usually it's a super hot side, like usually a scorpion sauce or a ghost pepper sauce. But
Okay.
eventually you kind of burn yourself out on that, so I kind of knock it down lower later, and I'll go with like, a classic salsa verde or an upper medium is
Yeah,
where I'm
yeah,
usually at.
definitely.
But for daily consumption, I'll depending how good the food is, sometimes I gotta spice up the food to make it a little better. So, depends on the day of the week, honestly, sometimes.
Okay. Yeah, no, I mean that makes perfect sense. That normal ebb and flow of selection is a very common one. I just didn't know if there was a, one that you kind of preferred or if you had say a favorite pepper that kind of stood out to you.
A favorite pepper, honestly, I got two. So the Trinidad Scorpion, because it just has that bite. It has the fruitiness to it. Like in its raw form, people understand how good that pepper is, like on its own. But then when you put it in the sauce, it kind of, you gotta balance it out. But then from there, the dragon Thai chili is my other favorite, honestly, and that's what I'm growing out in the garden right now.
Okay.
Because
Yeah,
that's honestly the one that got me started too.
those Thai chilies are they're so phenomenal because you can do, I mean really it's kind of endless what you can do with any of the chilies as a whole, but like that one's that perfect level for most people to either that's either their threshold pepper
Hmm.
or that is someone's snacking pepper that they can really just kind of enjoy and munch on and pair with food or whatnot and still
Yeah.
have a great rest of their night as to
Oh
where
yeah.
other times you can go out, you can eat a few super hots, and if you're not accustomed to it, just even having one bite can really kind of drag you under the table and ruin your night.
Hmm.
So no, I mean that's definitely a very solid option. Also, a high yielding plant in general. So you're getting a lot of fruit off of that plant and really just able to burn yourself down. So uh, I like it. I like the direction on that. And so you're growing. What does your like? How big is your grow right now? And does that entirety of the grow supply just your sauces, or do you still outsource from local farmers?
I outsource from a lot of local farmers, and different people I know that grow. Mainly because one, current living situation where we're at, our backyard isn't it's not very big, and our soil's horrendous. Like it's a very industrial area where we're at. So I got a few potted plants. Like I think right now I got about 16 plants right now. And those mainly go currently to my annual meltdown, which is every March. I blend them all, whatever I grow that year, I put them all together and they go into a sauce. So that's every March. And sometimes I'll get, you know, 60 bottles out of it. Sometimes I'll get 12, depending on how good the grow season was.
Yeah, that sounds
I don't have
amazing.
quite the green thumb, but some peppers just take to the climate really well.
Yeah.
So I think next year is Dragon Tide chilies. I got some Trinidad Scorpions, some Gator jigsaws out there, and then some cayennes that just came out of nowhere. Like I planted one, and then five plants came out.
Okay.
So, and then I was gonna work with Spicy Dada. He's got a humongous grow operation, so
Oh,
I was
absolutely.
gonna get I was gonna get some of his super hot primatalis because he just can't stop those things from growing over there.
Yeah. Yeah. No, he always has an amazing grow. The cayennes that you have going this year, are they the traditional reds or are they a different offshoot variant?
They're the long stem cayennes. So they're the
Okay.
extra long, probably about 6 inch long cayennes.
All right. Very nice.
Which
I
honestly
asked.
wasn't what I planted, but it
Yeah.
came out.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's a whole different avenue. Definitely. So like with for all those that are listening and may not understand how that could easily come to be. in the world of seed swaps and certain seed sourcing, it is easy to uh, potentially have that happen where you have seed crossover and it's not exactly what you thought it was in there. So, yeah,
Yeah.
no, I mean, cayennes are great. They're very
Mhm.
they're a phenomenal pepper for continuing to add a pepper source to a sauce without having to like cut it with something else, if you will, as well.
Yeah, they're
And
good supplemental pepper.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. The reason why I asked the variation on it was because um, over the years, one cayenne to me has been like, I mean, leagues better than the others, and maybe not in the heat source, but man, the flavor is phenomenal. And if you haven't tried one, you need to check it out. But those yellow, or sometimes people will call them golden, but the yellow cayennes are phenomenal. I mean, nice
I need to get
fruity
some.
body, nice, just a very subtle sweetness, nothing too crazy, but that fruity body to it all is just perfect for that same level of heat. It's just it's tasty and one that is extremely snackable.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm going to look those up because we got a good market around my area that's actually where I buy my extra hot green Thai chilies from this local guy at Hong Kong Mall down the street. So every grow season he like just brings out bushels and bushels of extra hot green Thai chilies. And he's got a bunch of stuff I haven't looked at because I was like, those, that's what I need. So I'm gonna have to hit him up and see what else he has because I think he had some long stem yellow peppers out there. I don't know if those are the cayennes, but
Well,
I'll have to check them out.
if they
Or I'll start
are,
growing.
yeah, definitely grab some and snack on them because they're phenomenal. That was
Nice.
one that I grew for a few years, as it's just one plant. If it survived, it survived. If it didn't, it didn't.
Hmm.
But they're pretty hardy and they can last pretty good, last pretty long. Now, your grow season. I mean, I know you're in Texas as I am. Being in Houston, do you have that window where you're having to basically stop your outdoor grow, or are you on the, I guess, the more south part of Houston where you're able to have a little bit more of a window than say the spring area?
I'm in the southwest side, so we our weather's weird, man. Like it can go from 80 degrees one day and just drop to 39. So there's like a certain time where I just pop out the mobile greenhouses and I start throwing my pots in there. And I'll just leave them in there. Like right now, my all 16 plants are inside the mobile greenhouse. And if the temperature gets above 70, I'll go out there and I'll roll the windows up real quick and let it breathe for the day. If I look at the my wife calls me the weatherman because I'm constantly checking the weather and looking and seeing what's going to happen. Either A for fishing or B for the pepper plants. So if I see it's gonna drop, I'll go out there when I go feed my outdoor pepper cats that take care of the garden.
Yep.
I'll just roll the windows down real quick and kind of batten down the hatches, let them warm up a little bit, turn the heater on for a little bit, and turn it off to let them just simmer.
I have tried to get just one, it was more or less a trial period for those outdoor greenhouses that you can just like drop on over. And
Hmm.
man, it just, for me, it didn't work out so great. I don't know if I did it wrong, whatever. So I've kind of scrapped that. Now, I have a system set up for shade cloth that needs to be finished,
Hmm.
it's almost constructed. It just needs to be finished out. But the idea with that was, at least for what I was planning, is getting some of that thick gauge, um, you know, almost completely see through. It's kind of like that hazy see through plastic that basically people use on
Yeah.
polytunnels and stuff. And I was
Hmm.
just like, well, if I get enough of that, I could potentially just drop that over the shade cloth system and see if it worked as a greenhouse. But yeah, after that one trial of the small, basically I was just trying to keep one plant alive with it. I don't know if that container, the little like poly greenhouse thing, was too small for that plant or what, but yeah,
Hmm.
it didn't end up cutting it. So it was
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I had a really gnarly one out there, and that last big freeze that came through Houston, it wiped it out. There wasn't nothing holding it back, that was available in the Houston area because we're not
yeah.
used to 11-degree weather. you know.
Yep.
So whenever it would like, and it wasn't like a hard shell or anything like that. It was very flexible. So when that wind came, you just heard that thing whipping. It was waking everybody up in the house. It was like pop, pop, with the wind going, it was popping back, and I was like, man, I'm gonna have nothing left in there.
Yep. Yep.
And
No,
and turns out there was a squirrel that actually got into it and decided to get in there. So he cut a hole in the side of there and got in there. He didn't make it because it was 11 degrees. The whole temperature in there dropped. But it's hard to get a good greenhouse. And once you find them, like it's hard to stick with a brand because they're always where they sell them is always changing. You know.
yep. All right. So we'll dive a little bit into the sauce as far as what you have going on. What sauce really got it started for you from a production standpoint?
The first sauce I manufactured from start to finish was scorpion pineapple lime. I was like, if my name's gonna be hardcore hot sauce, I gotta go hardcore. Like I gotta go hot, and I did. I went. The sauce has changed over the years
Hmm.
because manufacturing methods changed and cooking methods changed, equipment changed over the years. It's no longer just a pot and a spoon and a blender anymore.
Yep.
So um, it still has the same heat, just the consistency is a little different. It started off a little thick because I wasn't getting how to thin it down yet without losing flavor, but now I got that down. But that's what I started with was scorpion pineapple lime, and I literally sold it on Instagram. Like I just put out there, hey guys, I'm promoted my company for about a week, and a lot of my close friends jumped in. They were like, oh yeah, 300 followers or so. Because I was in the music scene at the time in Houston, and also just knew a bunch of people from work, and a lot of good like homies of mine were just like shooting it out there to everybody. And then I started selling that, and I was like, okay, it'll probably take me a week to sell through these 32 bottles. I sold 29 the first day. Like
Wow.
it was just 29 bottles gone. I didn't even have a shipping method yet. I was like, I don't even have boxes, dude. Like, what am I doing? Like so I had to like manufacture these boxes. It was so insane. If you'd seen me, you'd be like, this guy does not have his stuff together at all.
Hey,
So I like form fit the boxes around it and bubble wrapped it and started figuring out how to ship labels, and then the rest of the bottles sold the next day. I was like, I guess I got to make more sauce, and then it just kept going from there.
there's something to that though. The whole trial by fire
Hmm.
method and outlook, it really forces you to confront all those growing pains all at once, and really
Yeah.
that's the make or break moment right there. Is if you're able to pull that off smoothly and just have it really be effective still. It's definitely a good sign for future success, it feels like. So at least from all my different discussions with others that are in whether they're making spicy products or just regular products in general, that always seems to be a very resounding um, statement that holds true.
Yeah, yeah. If you get it's one of those things, you either dip your toe in the water or you just go head first. And it's either gonna work or it's gonna not. And
Yeah.
that's what um my friend at A&R Design, he makes pistol holsters and different stuff like that. He's started his company from the ground up as well. So when I was starting out, I kind of asked him like, hey man, like I'm thinking of starting a company and doing hot sauce. And I was like, would you and your guys mind doing some R&D for me? Like I'll send y'all bottles. Tell me what you think. And his shop guys like were like just messaging me back and forth like, dude, do this, that's so good, this and that, blah blah blah. And then he told me, he's like, if you're gonna do it, dude, just stop talking about it. Just jump in. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, just go back to the drawing board, man.
Yep. Absolutely.
And, and it's been working out ever since.
Well, the first inspiration sounded like it was really delivering on the name of hardcore hot sauce. Where do you derive your inspiration and creativity from these days for all your other future sauces and anything you might be working on currently?
I had like a few set flavors at the beginning that I wanted to go with. Like it went Corbin pineapple lime, then green inferno, which is a classic salsa verde that I've been making since I was young with my mom. Just tweaked the recipes. And then from there was Muay Thai lime, which was I needed like a sriracha e because sriracha was popular and the shortage was happening.
Hmm.
So I was like, I think I could make a similar kind of style. And I did, and it worked out pretty good. That was my third sauce. And then every sauce after that was just like a wild idea. I was like, I think I could do that. Like when I made my New World Samurai,
Oh yeah.
which is a habanero hot sauce infused with a vegan ponzu that I make at the house. So when I first started talking about the idea, a bunch of people were like, how is that gonna work? Like, I don't know, but I'm gonna. Like, I just want to do it. I went through six different recipes, live tested it at different places, and came out with the specific one that you had tried, and it's become one of my most popular sauces now. So it's
Yeah.
just like these weird ideas that just pop in, like like I'll just be eating something, I'll go, man, you know what would be good on this? Something, and I'll think of like a flavor profile. I'm like, I'll try that. So I'll go make it. I start with the flavor first, and then work into the heat after that. And so get the flavor down, and then I figure out how much heat needs to go in there before it starts taking away from the flavor. And that's kind of how my mind works. It's never like a drawing board type of thing. It's just like a wild idea that I think I'm gonna try, which is how Brain Invasion came to be.
Yeah. No, I mean that's super cool. And you had mentioned it earlier, the music scene. From what you're describing, it also kind of rings true in the music scene. There's oftentimes you'll hear of people that are they're writing their own songs and they're
Hmm.
trying to figure things out, and they just kind of let the universe, the people call it different things, the universe, the muse, whatever, they let that
Yeah,
creativity hit, and then they just grab a hold and write it until they figure out what really that intention was. And
yeah,
there's a method to that madness, and it's great to hear that you've tapped into that.
yeah. I mean, I was actually I've been a guitar player since I was 13, 12, 13 years old. And I've been writing music since I was about 15. So and that's kind of how a lot of that happens. Like I would be sitting like when I would write music, I would be sitting there watching TV, and then a beat would hit in my head. I'd be like, I could put that on strings. I would go, and then it would turn into, a verse. And then I was like, there's a chorus that could go with that. And then boom, there's a bridge and there's an outro, so, with all the different styles I've been playing over the years, blues, country, heavy metal, hardcore, all that fun stuff. It kind of the same thing for the hot sauce. It's just a thing pops in my head, and I'm not gonna, and it's not gonna leave until I at least try. Now, believe me, I've had some recipes that absolutely did not work, but
Yeah.
you know, they're they're in the idea book. They'll be revisited later, but you know, they're not all 100%.
Yeah, and I mean, there's something to that thought process and that creativity that's really driving it. It's not that it's everything's going to be a guaranteed success, instantly.
Hmm.
There's sometimes it just feels like bits and pieces that are given to you. The same thing you'll hear a lot of artists talk about. They may walk up to a canvas and they'll see something pop up in their head visually, and they try to put it down to paper, but maybe it's not the full picture, and they kind of have to sit there and work on it and hone it in and find out. And sometimes it just doesn't work out. That
Oh yeah.
that idea is gone. It's faded away, and so I mean it's really all about that balance between finding out when one of those take hold and just grabbing it in time. It feels like.
Everybody's brain works a different way, and ideas are all different, and everybody's perception of their idea is always, and execution is always different.
All right. Well, so then let's dive into, your labeling that you have going on here. It definitely portrays, as you were saying, the idea of the music scene as a whole is definitely noticeable through here, and the hardcore style of what you could really look at this and you could gather obviously the metal scene, like the hardcore metal scene, but you could also gather just other subgenres of hardcore variants of those other genres between your labeling and what you have going on here. Who created the artwork that you use for your sauce lineup?
So that would be the great and powerful Robert Macias out of the Rio Grande Valley. He's an old friend of mine, and he's a cartoonist out in the valley. And whenever I first was starting, he's done artwork for all the different tours and stuff like that, going through the valley for this place called the Hop Shop, which is like a legendary spot in the valley. Like who's who's always played there. They always got to stop through there on their way through the valley. So he did just these insane tour posters. He just did insane art, always pushing the boundaries on what he can and can't do. Always, always just pushing it, man. And so I was like, man, if I'm gonna do this, I gotta have my art like on point, and I want it a certain way because I've always loved the way that he does his artwork, you know. And he keeps the part like his style is um so him, like you can pinpoint. Like if someone's ripping his art off, you're like, I know who did the original of that, you know, because it's literally him. And so when I started this up, I was like, hey man, I called him. I said, hey, I'm gonna do a hot sauce business, and I want to see if you could do the art for me. And I'm honestly not gonna do the business if you're not doing the art because you have the style that I need. And he's like, let's do it. I've always wanted to do hot sauce. And man, literally, we talked for like 3 or 4 sessions, about an hour each, talking, just brainstorming, and we come up with like maybe 3 details of the bottle. And I'm like, okay, that's all you need. Just run with it. And then a month later, he sends me the artwork, and it's always just stellar stuff, you know. And I've been told some of the artwork is a little on the gruesome side, but depending. But I mean, if you look at the art as a whole, it's we did it kind of like the kind of like album art, back when you used to buy, you know, albums. So you had the main artwork, and then you had the lyric sheet, and then you had like the artwork throughout the whole booklet, right? So that's kind of why I wanted him to do the artwork across the whole label. So if you look, you got the main artwork, and then on both panels, you got different types of artwork that pop up.
Yeah, right there. There's a
Yeah.
beautiful example of this. I mean, you're literally telling a story from left to right the whole way through, obviously centering around your brand right there. I mean, absolutely phenomenal. The creativity that flows out through this is very cool, and it does have that um, almost that new age like adult cartoon, if you will, feel to
Yeah.
it. And
Hmm.
it's very very nice, even like all the way down to the marriage between the artwork and the font used for your lettering is very well executed, so kudos there. I like it a
Thank
lot.
you, man.
It does stand alone as its own artwork as well, and that part's extremely cool to see. You know, I would assume there's quite a bit of back and forth talk anytime you do get ready to roll out that line. I know you said that you'll have a
Hmm.
few sessions here and there. Has there been one of the labels that have been made that you're just like absolutely floored and blown away by, either way early on, or just like it's still just holds a special place in your heart and mind?
But what holds so the one that holds a very, very, very special place in my heart was when we did Brain Invasion, because that was just an off the wall idea. Like it's literally, not very many blueberry sauces exist, It's a very hard flavor to pair. And I was like, well, you know what? Because the whole reason I did the sauce was I wanted a purple sauce, being from Houston. I wanted to do a purple sauce. So I was like, well, how could I do this without adding food coloring? I don't add food coloring. And I added blueberries, and it worked. It worked so well with the brain strain pepper. And then so I made the sauce, and I started talking to him about it. And I was like, we were talking about just like indie movies at the
Mm-hmm.
time. And he's like, yeah, man, there's this movie that like where this alien is like a brain, and all this weird stuff. 'Cause he's into like wild movies.
Yeah.
So my dude, I was like, I want to call this sauce Brain Invasion because it's brain strain peppers. I was
Yep.
like, and it should be like a punk rock dude on the label. He goes, I got it. And then a month later, he sent that to me, and I woke my wife up. Like he sent it to me at 2 in the morning, and I just woke up to use the restroom. I was like, baby, look at this. And I was like, she was super pissed, but it's okay. I was like, you got to see this. Oh my God, look what Rob did. And it's just like every time I'm just amazed by how far he can push. You know,
Yeah.
like he like one, if like it's literally a punk rock Vin Diesel with a brain shooting out of his head, you know. And then, it's also an alien that has eyeballs and like tentacles, and the background of it is literally a whole brain, which nobody really notices. But, it is the the heart that he puts into each one of these labels. Like he does not release it until he is completely happy with it. And I'm happy every time he sends it to me. Like I've literally never even sent it back to him and made an edit. Like
Oh,
I
very
trust his
nice.
process so much that I'm like, whatever you're gonna put on it, dude. I'm the sauce maker. You know art. I can't even draw a stick figure to save my life. So he puts it on a label, and I'm just like, that's it. That's where we're at. And then I make sure that on each one of the bottles he has a little watermark, which is his logo that he hides in different artwork, so everybody knows it's his. And it's a little plus, and then a chair logo.
Okay.
And so Macias, more chairs.
Now I
And
have
if anyone
something
ever,
to hunt for.
oh yeah, it's on every bottle. And if anyone wants to check him out, he's at Blob More Chairs on Instagram. So BLOB More Chairs on Instagram, and that's where you can see all of his wild art. And he does artwork for the Not Sam Harris podcast. He's done some stuff for Will Sasso. He's getting his name out there a lot now,
I
which is
like it.
fantastic.
What
Hmm.
do you know what his preferred medium is that he likes to design for? Is everything just digital, or does he do also some like canvas work or anything like that? I mean,
Oh
he
yeah,
looks very talented in the sense that I would assume he doesn't typically just stay with one area.
no, he's across. Like he does a lot of digital art for that's his background is graphic designer, right? And web design. But he's a doodler. Like he has notebooks just full of just his drawings, because he just, when you're bored, you're just like, okay, and you just start putting stuff down. And it's honestly how he gets a lot of his references. Like he'll just start drawing it and then go, oh yeah, and then start doing it over here. But I don't know if he does any canvas stuff anymore. But I think he used to, but it's mainly a lot of pen and paper, and then a lot of digital.
Okay. Yeah, no, I mean the level of depth and detail that he has in each one of these labels makes me think that his any kind of canvas work that he would have would be
Oh yeah.
pretty wild to see. So just I mean it popped in my head. That's why I was curious to know. So okay, very
No man,
nice.
he has a brain that I could sit and pick for hours on how he does things, because it's just his process is so fun to me.
Yep. No, I can see it. Definitely can see it. As far as so you have a total of, and we may have just touched on this, but what is it? Is it five or is it six total sauces currently in your lineup?
So in the picture you have my five main run sauces. Those are the ones you're gonna find at every event that I do. Now I actually have 10 sauces that I sprinkle in here and there. Like I got so out of those five, like left to right, you got Muay Thai Lime, Green Inferno, Lone Star Burnout, Scorpion Pineapple Lime, and Brain Invasion. But then there's also the A&R Design Sauce, which I collaborated with the guy that kind of pushed me to start. Um, that one right there. The Also known as the Not Safe for Work Brontosaurus label. Um, so if you can't tell by the two smiley faces right there. Um, so I got that one, which is a really wild habanero and Szechuan peppercorn sauce, which I bring out every so often. And then after that one, you got New World Samurai. Then there's the Annual Meltdown, and then there's the Holiday Special, which is the one that had the zombie reindeer attacking the mall Santa. Um, and then uh, and then I got one that's coming out here real soon.
Okay.
So yeah, if you go like, yep, there's the Annual Meltdown.
I definitely that A&R design one sounds interesting with the Szechuan peppercorn. Was that one at?
It's
I feel like
wild.
that was at North Texas Hot Sauce Fest. Was it?
I think I had one bottle left. Yeah,
Okay.
I had like one bottle left of it. And I've only been doing this for this is my fourth year, and I've just got myself into more and more trouble with just I'm like I want to make more sauce. I'm gonna make a different one. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. So
Yep.
I've
Yeah.
created my own problem.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's super cool to hear though. As far as you're making when you're making these batches, do you have an earmark of I want 500 bottles of this case and 500 of this or of this blend and this 500 of this one. What does that look like for you? Because it sounds like you're doing this all yourself, correct?
Yeah, yeah. I'm still a single member LLC cottage foods company. So it's me sourcing, manufacturing, cooking, all that. Labeling, sealing, bottling, selling. And then my sister helps me as well. She helps me sell. So if we're doing an event, it's a bigger event. It works easier with two people.
Gotcha.
One person takes one half the booth, one person takes the other half the booth. But it's still single member. And usually I try to go for about 200 bottles each each flavor.
Okay.
So if I'm going to like NTX, I had roughly 150 to 200 per flavor, and I walked in there with about seven flavors.
Man, that's
So
a
my
lot of
my truck
work.
was my back seat was loaded down pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it sounds like you had a great partner in crime that helps you out with that with your sister. Because earlier you
Oh yeah,
mentioned how she also loves hot sauce. So it sounds like it's one of those scenarios will work for hot sauce, and that's
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 pretty
a good
much it.
place
I
to
tried
be.
paying her. I tried paying her, and she won't let me.
Hey,
So I float her hot sauce.
yeah. And it's also too it's great seeing other people get wins and continue to grow and to see the
Yeah,
progress be made. And I guarantee you, definitely since she's your sister first and foremost, she just wants to continue to watch you win, watch you grow the business and really make something bigger of everything that you have going on because you clearly have the drive, you have the inspiration, you have the direction and care, and man, I know I'm amped up for you, and I can't wait to see where this continues and where this goes. And it's an absolute blast. I mean, there's not a single spot that you have left unturned on your sauce lineup.
I appreciate that. I always tell her like, okay, if you're doing all this for free now, I said just wait for the next 5 years. I said the next 5 years, I said I got a plan. I got a master plan that's going to kick off. So every year is more and more goes towards that plan, and more goes towards the execution of the plan. And in about 5, 6 years, it's going to be in a totally different spot.
Very nice. I like it. I'm looking forward to it, and I'll definitely be sitting there on the sidelines cheering along as you go because I'm
Appreciate that.
I'm I'm loving what you're doing. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and jump on over to the game.
Yeah, man, let's do it.
All right. Well, welcome on into the five. This is a very fun game for all of those that are just either audio listening only, or this is your first time checking out the swear word and how the games are ran. The five is a very unique version of this game. There will be 2 rounds of it. So, what's going to happen is I have 5 random images that are some I will
Oh,
explain, whether that be the game, or just the obscure nature to the overall image. But I will show them, I will explain them, and then from there you get to rank: is it one, two, three, four, or five? And here's where it gets really fun. One could be the best, or five could be the best. And as far as how it's breaking down and how it's playing out, it's all in your head exactly how you want to do it. And this is completely custom tailored to how you would want to see this. So let's go
all
ahead
right.
and pull up the first image here. The good old jalapeno pepper. Where would you like the jalapeno to go?
Oh man. Um, Let me see. If I'm going 1 to 5, one being the best, five being the worst. Man. It's such a staple. I'd have to go number two.
Okay,
It's a
number two.
staple, man.
I like it. Nothing wrong with that. It's one of those that it's phenomenal. You can get it everywhere, and it
Hmm.
has a very nice versatility going on with this. So
And the game
let's
plan is I'm leaving one open for now
yeah
because you
yeah
never know what's gonna be there.
yep. No, that's a pretty smart play. Up next is the habanero.
Oh man, okay. Um, so I'm an oddball. I'm honestly not that big of a habanero fan. Like it has its place, but I'm
Yep.
not really a humongous habanero guy.
All right.
Uh, I would go four.
All right. Four it
Four.
is.
It's still good, but four.
I think your thought process and logic so far for the game has been spot on and done correctly.
I'm probably gonna catch some heat on that habanero comment, but bring it on.
Nah, I mean, there people either love it or they hate it, right? So that's that.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Up next, let me zoom this one in. The ghost pepper,
Oh man, I love the ghost pepper. I'm gonna go number three.
number three. All right, I
Three.
think I think you're playing this one pretty good so far. So let's go ahead and do it. Oh man, oh man. What are we going to roll out? We will roll out this one next. Just I'll be nice. This is the first round. I'll play fair. The brain strain pepper.
Oh man. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go number one.
All right.
It is my favorite of the four that we've seen so far,
Yep.
and it's very unique to its in nature.
Yep. Absolutely. Love the flavor of the brain strain. Love the heat that they deliver. It is a great yielding variety. So definitely a solid choice. And you made a very solid choice on leaving
Oh
number
man, yeah.
five to the bell pepper.
Yep, I'll go number five on the bell pepper. It's a good supplemental pepper. I
Yep.
use it in a few of my sauces. Like with my Lone Star Burnout, the chilled pepin is such a small pepper.
Mm-hmm.
I use orange bell pepper to supplement, so I still get the amount of mash that I want, and it doesn't affect the heat, but it also brings a savory, salty aspect to it, which is from the bell pepper itself.
Yep. Absolutely. Couldn't agree
I think
more.
good.
And now, obviously, we can't change anything, but just out of curiosity, is there any of these that you would have flipped around now knowing the full lineup?
I would have put Ghost at number two.
All right. Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
a pretty fair shakedown on that one. The readily available nature to number two and what you have as number four, the jalapeno and habanero, they're great, but doesn't necessarily mean that readily available nature outpaces some of the other flavor and heat profiles that come from those super
Yeah.
hots.
Yeah. I mean the Ghost pepper just has such a good. It's very palatable.
Yep,
As long
absolutely.
as it's in a sauce that's made right, it's so palatable and it plays so well with other ingredients.
Absolutely. All right, let's run it back for another round. Here we go. Second round of the five. This one's going to be a bit more fun, a bit more flavorful, but let's jump on into it. Up first, we have aliens.
Oh, dude, I am such a huge Alien fan. Oh man, I don't think I'm gonna like this game. Oh man. Okay, so one being the best, five being the worst. I'm the number one person you don't want to meet the aliens because that will get us all in trouble. Oh man, I'm gonna go aliens at number three.
All right.
Safe play.
All right.
Safe play.
I
To the
like it.
future alien overlords, I'm sorry.
Here's where it starts to get a little bit more interesting. So I'll bring out the obvious next choice. So we have Bigfoot.
Oh man. I
So
was so into the Bigfoot lore when I was a kid. I argue with people all the time that he was real. Like I would that was the hill I was dying on when I was like 9 years old. was I was destined to meet Sasquatch.
Nice.
And it's actually funny. That's what my sister calls me.
I
Calls me
think you're gonna
Sasquatch.
really like this one. This game. Then this one was kind of
Man,
tailored a little bit more to that.
I'm gonna go number two.
All right. All right.
Oh man, I can only imagine what's coming next.
Well, let's go ahead and grab the next one here. This is just to resemble time travelers. So I've seen this image floating around for a while, but ultimately I just needed an image that said time travelers without it being a movie or a TV show or a book or whatever.
Yeah,
So
man, I've seen so many of those pictures where like a lady on her on an iPhone and just like different tech and dude with like this one dude with sunglasses clearly in a place where they don't have sunglasses
yep.
or his tech and everything yet. Uh Man, time travel. I'm gonna go
All right.
five on time travel.
All right. I think I see where we're going with this. Let's grab the next one. Oh, and we have zombies as the next one
Oh
up.
dude, yeah, yeah, the zombie apocalypse, man. I'm a humongous 28 Days Later fan and all the different original Walking Dead comics and before they ruined it with the show.
Yep.
And you know, it zombies gonna have to go number one.
All right. All right.
Zombies gonna have to go, dude. If this next one is something I absolutely love, I'm gonna hurt myself.
I would say keep everything else at bay because I have a feeling that I absolutely stack this one to be a loaded game on here. For all of those that are watching and listening, we have up last at number four
Man, bear,
spot
pig.
on honorary man bear pig. I mean,
Oh man,
that ties perfectly into the labeling and that ties perfectly
yeah.
into the lore of everything else. So,
And that was one of my favorite skits from South Park. They knocked it out of the park when they brought Al Gore in with Man, bear, pig.
yep. But all in all, still don't think the lineup's that bad. Now that
It
you've
is
seen
pretty good.
everything, how would you change anything, and how would you change it?
Oh man, I have to move Man Bear Pig up to number three, Bigfoot at number one because of how deep I was into Bigfoot.
I
Like I
like it.
was super into aliens as a kid, uh, and and was always like looking in the sky. You know, Houston, you don't see very many stars,
Yeah.
but you know, when I go to Oklahoma to visit my grandpa, every light in the sky that moved before I knew about satellites, I was like, it's aliens. So you know, I was that kid.
I love it. Absolutely love it. All right. Well, the that was the five. So hopefully you enjoyed that one. It's a
That
rather
was fun.
fun game. A great way to kind of break up the interview. We have the nugget of knowledge. What we'll do is we'll go ahead and cater that one towards anyone that is, starting out to create a spicy product. What would be that nugget of knowledge that you would share with them?
I mean, everybody kind of goes at it different. Like some people focus on the presence, so focusing on like you know banners and different material that you know stickers and stuff like that. I was a little different, man. Like I focused on sauce first. Like you want to you want to focus on the flavor first. Get your flavor down. Also figure out what your basis is going to be. Are you going to be a straight pepper sauce, like with no other added flavors or anything like that? Because there's a place for that. You know, are you going to be a primarily like a sweet and savory kind of sauce? Or are you going to kind of shotgun and just go everywhere, you know, type of sauce? Um, so first, figure out kind of what you're wanting to do. Two, figure out what lane you need to be in, you know. So like figure out where your niche market's going to be. Like I do a lot of hardcore shows, punk rock shows, but then also I do some upscale shows where I'm like, I don't really belong here, you know, with like boutique type stuff. And then you got me over here listening to punk rock and selling sauce. Um, and then I guess the other nugget would be, um, Don't be scared to take it low and slow. You know, you're not up against anyone's clock. You're on your own time. You're on your own clock, and figure out what you're gonna do, what you're doing it for. Like for me, if this comes to fruition in my lifetime and it becomes the $1 million idea, cool. My goal is to make this for my kids.
Yep.
Something so they don't got to work for nobody. I've worked for, in IT for going on 21 years. You know, some jobs out there are real soul sucking and it just doesn't work out well. I want them to be able to take a product that they actually helped build and be able to take that on. If it works out for them, it works out for them. If they want to sell it to HEB after I'm long gone, do it. You know, I just built it for them to have something to do with.
I like it. I like the direction and focus and of that nugget of knowledge. I definitely am right there behind you with that same thought process. So super cool to hear that. Here's the fun part where you get to nominate someone on the hot seat. So who would you like to put on the hot seat?
I would like to do uh, Kevin at Edward Teach Trading Company. You may have tried some of his sauce over at NTX. Super cool dude. He's a veteran. He's a veteran-owned company. He smokes all of his peppers. He, includes very specific stuff in his sauces and seasonings that are proprietary to him. You know, like he makes honestly the best buffalo sauce I've ever had in my life. Every time I will see him, I will bottle swap him the second I see him for some of that overboard pirate. And he makes like spicy ketchup. He makes this thing called the M16 blend seasoning, cold smoked salts, and all around he's just a fantastic dude. We met years ago at an event that we both did horrible at because the marketing wasn't right for the event, but we caught up. We were chilling with each other. Super cool dude. We've been in touch ever since. I put him on when I can. He puts me on when he can, and we still see each other and talk regularly. And he super great dude, and he's got such a very unique product.
Absolutely. Definitely remember him from North Texas Hot Sauce Fest. So definitely looking forward to that. Thank you so much for that nomination, and I will be
Yeah,
setting up
man.
a time to have him on the show, and we'll get some amazing conversations flowing in that direction. Now, do you have anything else you want to share with all those that are watching and listening?
Yeah, man. Hit me up on Instagram or Facebook. So hardcore underscore hot sauce HTX on Instagram. I'm very active on Instagram. It's kind of primarily where I'm at. I do some Facebook, but usually it's because I put something on Instagram and it shares it automatically with Facebook or facebook.com/hardcore hot sauce HTX, all one word. But you'll follow me on Instagram. You'll see where I'm going to be at, where I'm popping up at, what sauces are coming up. I always do little tidbits of teasers of what I'm kind of doing and what is kind of coming up here pretty soon.
Very
Then I
nice.
launch it where I'm gonna be at, and you'll have all access to me through Instagram.
Like it. I'll have the links also down below for anyone that is watching and able to click on those so you can keep up with the hardcore hot sauce. So, man, Loren, it has been awesome having you on here. Thank you so much for being here. There's still so much more we can dive into. Would love to have you back
Yeah, man.
and hit up a secondary episode. So, thank
Yeah,
you so
man. I'm
much.
I'm
And
game anytime.
all
Thank
right,
you.
thanks. All right. Hey, Loren, thank you so much for being on here. It was an absolute honor and a pleasure having you on, learning more about hardcore hot sauce, all the amazing efforts and everything that have gone into really honing in your inspiration, your drive, your focus on making this hot sauce dream happen. And I cannot wait to continue to watch, continue to grow, and crank out new sauces and see the visual appeal that you're putting on these. Absolutely loving it. Look forward to having you back on. Once again, if you want any of these products that were mentioned on tonight's show on Hot or Not, I'll have the direct links for that down below. Exactly how you can keep up with hardcore hot sauce and everything to do with the hardcore hot sauce and all the sauce that they're going to be rolling out. So we have opened up sponsorships for the swear word. So if you're looking to sponsor the show, go ahead and hit me up on socials. We'll get the ball rolling there, or you can head on over to www.theswearword.net. And hey, if you're looking to grow your brand, start your brand, you've hit a bump in the road and you're trying to figure things out, highly recommend checking out podvision.io for all your needs. Absolutely could not do this without them. Once again, if you're tuning in on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Rumble, or even right here on YouTube, thank you so much for being here. If this was your first time, thank you so much. Look forward to seeing you back. We drop new episodes every Tuesday and Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central. Episode number 65 is in the books. I'm Brandon Swear, and from everything from the world of hot, this has been The Swear Word.